Commodities have been on the rise of late, except for crude oil that has seen a slight drop due to fears of a slow in Chinese manufacturing affecting a demand for oil globally. Well, on the line with me today is Zahid Mahmood at London Capital Group to talk us through his views on the commodity price action. Zahid, thanks for joining me. So, China's manufacturing has been pretty woeful of late. Is China the major factor when it comes to assessing the price?
I don't think this data of China is going to have much of an impact on the US crude prices in particular, or any crude prices, I should say, and because I think there's more overpowering influences on the price of oil at the moment. You have, for example, anticipation that the Fed's going to introduce further quantitative easing. Now, if you're going to get easy weakening of the dollar, that will help bolster the price of the of crude prices. You've also got to bear in mind that EU brought in sanctions against Iran quite recently as well, and I think that's having a small impact on the oil prices. And there's also the ongoing tension with the fact that Israel could actually attack Iran at any moment in time, even though they've said that they're not likely to do it anytime soon. So I think overall you've got other stronger influences on the price of oil rather than just weaker economic data. So at the moment, my honest opinion is I think oil is more likely to go up than down.
Now, gas has surged for the Americans on Labor Day after Hurricane Isaac caused havoc and led to evacuations across affected oil rigs. What's your outlook on gas prices?
Again, I think you are right. I think the hurricane situation is certainly playing strongly into this. Again, my view on gas and the energy sector in general is relatively quite bullish for the reasons I've mentioned before. So yeah, fine. The reserves might be slightly higher than people might be feeling a little more comfortable about it. But I think the demand is ultimately there. It's really a case of whether it'll pick up sooner or whether it'll pick up later. But you've also got currency effects coming into play. You've got, as you mentioned, the hurricane coming into play. So again, if anything, I'm bullish to long rather than short and bearish at the moment.
Finally, let's focus our attention on soft commodities. The US has been through its worst drought in decades. This has inevitably affected crop prices such as corn and soybean. What are your views on soft commodities at the moment? Absolutely.
Well, as you mentioned, we're probably the worst drought we've had in the US in probably at least 80, 90 years. That is impacting, obviously, the soft commodities, in particular the likes of corn and soybean, very, very aggressively. Now, we've already hit all-time highs in both corn and soybean recently, and that's off the back of commentary that's already come out saying that we're not going to be producing as much. The quality of the soft commodities isn't as great. However, as the harvest starts coming in and you see solid numbers, I certainly think that the soft commodities like corn, soybean will continue going higher. I've actually read reports from certain other people saying that they could even double from where they are even right now. So you're looking at soybean trading around double of where it is, and the same with corn as well. And certainly I don't see any reason why that would change. We've also had comments out of other farming areas that have said similar things about their soft commodities. So I think you're gradually getting to a point whereby you're going to see this crunch, and it's going to start impacting the bottom line, both in terms of the soft commodity itself, and it'll start feeding into the food prices as we go forward.
So Zahid, if what you're saying continues to play havoc on crops, and if prices continue to rise, this will surely cause much larger global problems, won't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's one. I think. Well, this is my own personal view, but I certainly think the price inflation in food has been underrated at the moment. I know in certain parts of the world they're already screaming about how high prices are. If you take the likes of India, for example, the food inflation there is astronomical relative to the amount of income that the people are earning. And I know in other parts of the developing world it's also a similar situation. Although we've not been affected to the same extent, if food prices continue to go the way they're continuing to go, this will end up being the next major crisis I see if things continue the way they are. You have to also bear in mind, for example, the likes of the soft commodities like corn and soybean, they're being used not just for food, they're being used as, for example, fuel sources as well, and it's competing for multiple demands. So I think that's all going to feed into the fact that these food prices will continue going higher, and I certainly think in the next 12 months or so, this could be the hot topic that people will be focusing on more than most things.
Okay, thank you for that insight, Zahid. That's it for now from me. It's a busy and exciting week ahead of us for the markets, so keep checking back when you can for the latest updates and exclusive interviews here on Dukascopy TV. Until next time though, goodbye.